Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Cooking for the Holidays Stage 2024. Excited to be here. How you guys feeling? Wow, are we feeling okay? Are you guys doing all right? You'll feel much better once the chef starts really cooking. I want to thank our sponsors before we kick things off with Chef. Thank you to Mattress Firm, Renewal, Remodel, and Additions, and Bates Technical College, which is getting all the sweet, good shots, the chopping, the sizzling, all of the things. It'll be shown on this screen over here, so there'll be nice close-ups. And without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Chef Shawn Tibbitts of Tibbitts Fern Hill. Hey,
Thank
Chef.
You. Thank you. Appreciate you all coming out here. Yeah, I just closed my restaurant, and I'm like, I got to go to the Dome. I got to keep cooking.
Yeah. What better than to join us here, feeling a little festive?
Well, I'm very honored. So, yeah, today's going to be a lot of fun.
What are you making for us, Chef?
I'm going to do a roasted garlic potato leek soup, but a lot of people do soup differently than I do. I like a lot of flavors in mine. A lot of people will just take one pot and make soup in one pot. I don't mind doing dishes. Dishes are a chef's best friend because the more dishes I make, the more I get to clean, and I'm like, yay, it's bedtime. That's how my mind works. But we're going to be doing multiple pans here, and I'll show you how I make my roasted garlic potato leek soup, and then you folks can do it how you want to do it. So, yeah, again, my name is Shawn Tibbitts. I'm from Tibbitts at Fern Hill. My address is 8237 South Park. I'm in Tacoma. I'm going on 8 years being open, and I'm very grateful for everything. Hashtag, if you want to follow me, is Tibbitts Fern Hill, one word. Just make sure you spell the name right, and should be good to go. All right, so here we go. First thing I'm going to start with, because we're going to do roasted garlic potato leek soup, and I'm going to serve it in baked potatoes. So I've got 3 potatoes here, and these are just regular russets. All my ingredients I got at your local store, so you folks can make it at home. Nothing fancy, nothing flown in from any foreign country to modify. It's all basic stuff. So this year I'm excited because they actually gave us water. The last couple years, no water. So.
Now, there's always access to water, but sometimes it's not like running water. It's just in a nice container.
So as you folks are at this holiday gift festival right now, this is Christmas for me right here. This makes my little heart smile knowing I can use water.
You know, it's the little things in life. When it comes to the demonstration kitchens, you never know what you're showing up to. And I was saying earlier, like, you guys have to get acquainted. It's like dating.
Yes, and that's a different show, the dating show, not on this one.
Not today.
So for me, what I like to do is I'll get my potatoes washed, these are russets. Just get most of the dirt off, everything's earthy nowadays. A lot of people will run these through a dishwasher. They'll scrub them. I don't mind a little dirt. Dirt didn't hurt me. So it's like, you know what? I like the earthy flavor.
So, Chef, while you're kind of prepping some things, can you tell us a little bit about what you serve at your restaurant?
Well, I'm a different restaurant. If you go to my website, you'll notice that I'm not your average restaurant because I don't have normal restaurant hours. For me, I base it off reservations. And the way I do it is I do reservations. You have to call to get in, and that's the only way to get in. For me, I want to be a zero-waste facility. I want to know what's coming in. It's called controlled chaos. Where most restaurants you go to, you just walk in. They're like, hey, and you're like, hey, and then they're like, bye, and you're like, bye. My place, I'm going to talk your ear off. I'm going to pick you apart, find out who you are, what makes you tick. And that is a relationship. If you're looking for a restaurant you just want to go eat, there's a million out there. Yeah. But if you're looking for fun conversation, I'm your place. I try to source as local as I can. So I set this oven at 350 real fast. We'll go back to that. Yep. 350, sprayed my potatoes, put a little salt on there. We're going to pray that this oven gets it done in 45 minutes. Everybody, let's say a prayer together. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, back to what I was saying about supporting local. I do with a lot of local community vendors. For instance, my coffee. Where's my... Oh, this is my lifesaver right here. This is the best coffee in the world to me. And we have the owner of the business sitting in a chair right now. And she's in booth 603. So if you want some of the best coffee in the world from my mouth, she's right there. Island Coffee Company ladies and gentlemen.
Island cod, love it.
And that is local. I don't do Folgers. I don't do U-Ban. When people come in and say, oh, my gosh, that's good coffee, what is that? And I'm like, that's U-Ban, Walmart. That's everything combined. They're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, you don't want to know. But anyways, 603 right over there. So
I love a good local shout out there. It's all about the relationships here.
But what kind of food do I serve? So me, being Alaskan native, we really didn't have recipes for food like most cultures. In 1860, the Navajo created the fry bread, and then we adapted a few other recipes. But things that took off, we were always controlled, and I'm not bringing up politics, but we're always controlled by somebody where they gave us something. They wouldn't let us go out, hunt our own anymore, So for my people, it was a lot different growing up with food. Me being Alaskan, I didn't grow up with the lower 48 with the thrive of the bison or any of those animals, the elk. We lived in Alaska. Fish, caribou were our two big sources, whale. So we had to make food for ourselves from using those items. And still, Alaskan seafood, still some of the best in the world, hands down. But my menu is based off farm to table. And a lot of my produce comes from local farms in the area, stuff I can get. Like avocados, you're not going to find that locally. You're not going to find that unless you go to, you have a Mexico vendor. But yeah, that's about it. So we're going to start this soup. So I've got my baked potato in. That's going to be the big thing. So I've got a pot of water here. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the potatoes from the actual soup. Because if you know, potatoes absorb all the sodium in your soup. Everything you make, you're going to have to add more salt, more salt, more salt, more salt through the duration. Even if your soup sets for the hour it takes to set or 2 hours, whatever you're making, you still have to wait for the taste to fully develop. How many of you made split pea with ham before? How many? How salty was that soup when you had the ham in there? It was pretty salty. So that's why you just throw potatoes in there to take out that sodium. But, yeah.
And Chef, do you have a preference on potatoes that you're using for your soup?
I'm gonna do both. So I've got russets, and then I'm gonna use these little mini Yukon Golds because I like these potatoes. They remind me of Alaska. It's like, hey, the Yukon. But yeah, and these are super cute, and I like cute stuff. Being a chef, I like little things like this and pay a little bit of attention. A lot of soups that you'll get, like let's say chowder, for instance, a couple other soups. A lot of places will use fillers for that, and it frustrates me. Like if I go to, like, let's say a corporate place, let's say I go to Ivar's, and I get their chowder. All I'm eating is potatoes, and I'm like, why don't they just call this potato soup with clams?
It's fair.
You know what I mean? And no offense to Ivar's, but people seem to think that they're the best chowder in the world, and I'm like, have you had mine? So at the local supermarket, I found these beautiful leeks. I don't know how many of you folks know how to use leeks, but part of the onion family. The way you do leeks is you want to take a little bit off the bottom, and you look for the light green to the dark green. So you don't want to use the dark green because those are going to be pretty bad when you try to puree them up. You're going to get like grittiness in there. How many of you folks did have done like asparagus soup or like a cream of asparagus, and it gets real stretchy, or I'm trying to stringy, and you're like, I can't eat this. Well, that's the same with these pieces. I mean, these are great for garnish, but I don't want to use those for the soup. So, so this is what we're pretty much going to use here. You just want to make sure they're clean. So we'll go through them. We'll take a look. I met a couple here that has a bunch of leeks in their yard, and hopefully they're in the audience. But yeah. How lot of you folks cook at home?
I've got a lot of hands.
And how many of you folks called the restaurant to invite Shawn Tibbitts to come eat? Why is there no hands?
Got to change that.
Call the restaurant. Google me. So again, we're looking for the light to the dark green. So so once you get to that. And you could use this for a stock, you know what I mean? If you want the real oniony flavor on a stock. I don't care for it because these are going to be enough. So, and again, we're looking for sand and dirt, stuff like that. These are organic, so this Safeway did a pretty good job cleaning these. I don't see a speck, but still, we're going to go over there and rinse these real quick.
Leeks can be one of those vegetables that you get from the store and you think, ooh wee.
So once you get your leeks clean, what I like to do is I'll start melting my butter. And I use salted butter for my my leek soup, only because it's going to add salt to it. Some of my soups I won't add salt to it, just because I know the natural juices and stock has enough sodium in it. But this soup won't have hardly any sodium in it because we're going to be using chicken broth.
How much butter are you using there, Chef?
You know, butter's actually really good. I like butter. I'm a butter guy.
Just a little bit.
You can never have too much butter. It's like bacon fat. You can never have too much bacon fat. If there's any vegans, vegetarians, I do apologize for using the word bacon. I apologize. So we're going to let that melt down. Potatoes are cooking. So fastest way to cook potatoes like this method is just put a lid on it. What did that lady say? Put a lid and forget or something like that? There's a saying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own as soon as I find it. I'm going to make my own stock here with my strainer, my butter, and then we're going to add a whole bunch of fun stuff to get this soup, to get the full body and balance that we're looking for. My biggest thing is hitting it with the flavor and then tasting the other flavors on top of that, like going into a potato with everything else. So we're just going to let that melt. You know, if you've never been to my restaurant, you don't know what I use. My kitchen is actually 2 campfire burners. They're 10,000 BTUs. So this would already be melted. So forgive me if I'm talk slow. By the way, I'm the last person today, too, so I'm pretty excited.
You are the last person today.
So I'm going to keep you here all day. I'll feed you. I'll feed all of you. So, what's that? Well, I counted the recipe by the number of seats, so I've got to make sure I have enough to feed you. Me, I'm not a recipe guy, you know. A lot of people, you know, chefs and kitchen managers will, when they build a menu, they'll find a recipe online that they like, and they'll play around with it. And then they'll tweak it to their own. Where you got a guy like me, what's a recipe? You know, if you know what you're doing, then, you know, but I'm not that guy to, you know, write recipes down. You know, I never graduated high school. I can't even spell. Have you seen my grammar on my Facebook and my Instagram I use? You'd be like, oh, my God, I can't read his posts. He's all over the place. Somebody help him.
Chef, what herbs do you have there in your strainer?
I've got some thyme right there. So thyme will be my main ingredient in this. I don't want to overpower it with anything else. So, yeah, I'm keeping it separate because I don't want the potatoes to go because everybody cooks out of the one pot method, and they put the potatoes in, and then they take them out, and then it all just turns into a big pile of mashed potatoes. So, for me, I'm just trying to get as much flavor as I can in here. So, I'm just waiting for the sizzle.
Gotta get it working. And if anyone has questions, please feel welcome to raise your hand so I can come to you with the microphone. That way, Chef and the group can hear you. Oh, I like it. See, right away, she's like, hold on, I got a hand. Wait, no. You wait.
If you make herbs like that, you don't have to pull it off the.
Yes.
And then you just toss it when you're
done.
done.
Just toss it when you're done. Because a lot of time you'll make a satchel when you're making your base. And you'll use cheesecloth. You know what I mean? Cheesecloth. Everybody just gets that, fills that up with all the herbs, pops it in there, and then just pull it out. This is just a strainer. So I'm just going to dump that in there like that. It's not going to melt. It's metal. At least I hope not. I've done it a couple times.
Teaching us some new technique.
Yeah, and then that way it absorbs all the flavor, and I don't have to dig, because I didn't bring any tongs. Yeah.
And Chef, it is the holiday season. We are here. It is Tacoma Holiday Festival. What are some of your traditions at the restaurant or personally that you celebrate? Like, what is an annual thing that you really bring in the year with at the end?
Well, if you don't know who I am and you don't follow me, 5 times a year I do a lot of community work. So the last 3 holidays, I've fed over 800 people so far for free. And for me, it's always about community over money. This Thanksgiving, for instance, I got the approval from a church that is going to loan me their church again this year. Anchor Church in Tacoma, 19th and Orchard. Beautiful kitchen, beautiful facility, beautiful people. They're going to loan me their kitchen on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm going to feed 700 people.
Oh, I love
free.
that.
What? 703. Folks I'll be feeding will be the less fortunate, the unhoused, and single folks that are going through a rough patch. Anybody's welcome to a meal. We'll be doing deliveries, and you can come pick up the meal also. So a couple different things. And then I'll be doing it again on Christmas. So for me, it's always been about the heart. Yeah. And that's what keeps me going. So for that, I'm grateful every day.
It's good stuff. I think we've seen a lot of folks in the industry do that more and more, especially, during the 2020 year, where we're really kind of welcoming people in and have a heart for community.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been about the people. It's always been community work. Okay, so all I did is I cut the leek the long way, and now I just cut it in half the other way. Doesn't matter how big of pieces you're going to get, because we're going to puree it. I brought my jute right there. It's a immersion blender is what the typical name, but for me it's a jute.
That's the perfect name for it.
Yes.
Oh, we have a question. I'm coming up. I love it. Restaurant question it is.
Are you the only one that cooks in the restaurant?
I am one of the only one that cooks, yes. I am. I'm grateful for that. I don't know. A couple times I tried to hire folks to do the job, and they did a good job. But, for any business owner, anybody that has a passion, anybody that knows, it's you. You are the person that has to be the person. And I don't want to say that we lost integrity. I don't want to say that we lost morals. But when people come to work, that's a job. When I go to work, that's all I got. Just like you. Yeah. That's all you got. You got one shot. One shot. So if you're not hitting it, it's...
Are you guys getting those aromas out here? Are you smelling the good things?
So on this soup, there's a couple ways folks can thicken it. The most basic thing you can do if you're doing a soup, not like my style, is you can make a roux, which is equal parts of butter and flour. If you make a roux, make sure you're using unsalted butter. Salted butter is going to make it salty, and then you're going to be wondering why your soup's too salty. It's because you use salted butter. The other way you can thicken it is arrowroot cornstarch. So a couple different ways. You can also thicken stuff with tortillas, cheese. Those are pretty much all your thickeners for soups, cream-based soups. When you're doing broth soups, you want to use pretty much cornstarch, arrowroot. Always hit it with lemon juice, whatever soup you make. That way it takes off the cornstarch flavor or the starchiness in that. This one, we're going to just use straight potatoes. So the potatoes will be the thickener.
And that between the butter and the leeks, it's already a beautiful color.
Yeah, this is going to turn out really well. Biggest thing we're going to do after this is we're going to add a few more components. Then we're just going to let it reduce, and we're just going to let it keep cooking in the thyme cream. And then as soon as we get to that level, we'll add our potatoes, and should be good. Baked potatoes are still hard, if anybody was wondering how those potatoes are doing. So definitely pray for those to be done on time, because I want you guys to have some potatoes. So are you folks from all over the area, all over the United States, or are you folks pretty much from here?
Who's a local?
Where are you from, young lady? North Carolina. South Carolina. Wow. 30 years? Wow. And you're one of my aunties, aren't you? Yes. Which tribe are you? Retired. We appreciate you. You could come up here and show me how to cook, couldn't you? Do you miss it? Yeah. Well, if you ever want to come cook for 100 people in one day, call me. I know, but I'm just talking like for just one day, 3 hours.
Just come hang out.
Just call me. I'll get you your stress back. You know, you can scream at me, you know, I won't mind. Okay, perfect. Yeah, come check it out. Well, thanks for coming out. I appreciate you. So, and where are you from, young lady? Olympia. Wow, I like Olympia. My son lives in Olympia. So, cool. Yes, I lived there for a little bit, and yes, I know what you're talking about exactly. So, and you folks, I know you too. Wow, well, thank you. And I'm loving this, bro. Did you diet again? Or is that just coming in? She's not stressing you out, right, bro? Because I'm loving that salt and pepper look. And you folks are from here, right? To Compton? From the hood? What school did you two go to? T-Birds, huh? What year? Well, I'm asking you. Now you're going to be on a video. Wow, you're so young. How do you do it? Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
You guys didn't know you were going to have a full-on dialogue conversation with the chef today, but here we are.
Well, I'm not doing much. I'm just cooking the soup. You know?
I got to say, when you go to Tibbitts at Fern Hill, you will get this exact experience. Chef will come out, and he'll chat it up. Like, he's in there. He's in-house. He's there to have a conversation. It really does feel like just a nice little pocket community within those doors.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it's always been about the people. I'm a what you call a no-stress cook, where you watch all these cooking shows, Ramsay, all those, and you, like, get tension because he's yelling at everybody. Well, yeah, it's because they wanted that kind of attention. I can't even watch those shows. It's like, I can't watch this.
That's not fun.
I can't. It's just too stressful. I'm like, okay. But, you know, I mean, I have a gift where I can just, you know, just cook.
Well, and when did that start? When did you really have like a love affair with the kitchen and start cooking?
I started in 1994 at Tacoma Golf and Country Club. One of the chefs there, Chef Ron West, took me under his wing and said that I had a very good memory and I should probably, you know, I would do well in the food business. But never work one job too long, or that's all you're going to know, which a lot of cooks do because they work at that place for 15, 20 years, and they try to go somewhere else, and they don't know how to make half the sauces, you know, because they're not keeping up to date with, I guess, the new times. But nowadays you go around, and, yeah, I recently took another job, and I went to, for the summertime, and I worked at a place, and I didn't learn anything new. I'm just watching people stress out. Like, why are they, you know what I mean? And not to talk negatively, but I'm like, I can't do this. You know, I don't stress. I'm going to go back to just cooking at my place. Drama-free. But, you know, 40 restaurants later, it finally clicked. He said, don't work at 40 of them. He only meant a couple of them. But I worked at 40 restaurants in 29 years. So
that's a lot.
A lot of different cultures. For me, I was born with ADHD and a mild form of autism where my mouth doesn't stop, neither does my brain. So I've got the best of both worlds. So right here, if you can see on your screen, it's starting to brown. That's what you want, but you don't want it to brown any more than that, or else you're going to start searing it. So we're going to go ahead and add our chicken broth here. Now you can add veg broth. You can add any kind of stock you want, but, you know, I only have an hour, so I don't have time to make you a proper chicken stock, which will take 12 hours. I'm sorry.
That's dedication there. I'm coming with the microphone. We have a question.
Yeah, this is
Broth
the
is
salted stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, only because I'm not adding potatoes to it, and I want some saltiness. So most soups that you go to now, they come prepackaged, they come frozen, and all you're doing is heating them up. And I don't want to say that negatively because you're eating frozen soup, but it's like nobody makes real soup anymore, and it saddens me. I'm like, soup is one of the most wonderfulest things you can create in your restaurant. And I'm a guy that has 2 campfire burners, and I still make soup. I don't buy frozen. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah. And this week is perfect for soup. I felt like, summer was still trying to summer, and then all of a sudden you woke up in the morning and you're like, oh, there's a little chill in the air.
Yes. This morning especially.
Yeah.
I like that refrigerator.
It's a nice fridge.
It is. Did we just get it?
It's new. It's a different one than last year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I did 1.5 of those chicken stocks, and I'm going to do 1 quart of heavy cream.
Over the herbs.
As you see, I'm pouring it over the thyme because I want all that thyme flavor in there. And as this starts to come to a boil, it'll start reducing. So you'll see that thyme element go more into my soup base. One thing you also want to check, too, is we're not making mashed potatoes. So take a little knife, poke your potatoes, and once they're about done, you can pull them and hold them. This is like my house. I come home and the kitchen sink's still messy.
For the record, that is a pretend kitchen sink.
Oh, does it not drain?
Don't drain there.
Oh.
You can drain to the sink just off stage. Crisis averted.
Crisis averted, yes.
It is a model kitchen.
Does anybody need to wash their hands before I do this? I mean, that's got to be common courtesy, I mean, I just want to make sure.
It's going to be okay.
Okay. Hot pans, hot towels, okay? Make sure you guys do that. Never wet towel with a hot pan.
Why? Someone said.
Because steam burns are the worst. They're almost as bad as tin can burns.
Yeah, you'll be hurting.
You guys want to make sure that doesn't leak from the bottom when I start pouring this in there. I don't want to melt something.
Fingers crossed.
Good? All right. Folks, no leaks. Let's give a round of applause to whoever made that. Life is good.
Life is good.
All right, folks, we're about a half hour left for my demonstration. You guys all okay? Can I get you anything? Water, popcorn? Come on, T-Birds. Remember the little cafe that was there? I missed that. Now it's 7-Eleven, right? Sorry, folks. Sorry, national television.
It's it's kind of sad when you go to like your old stomping grounds. You go, wait a second,
Yeah.
what's happening here? And then you think, God, it wasn't that long ago, and you're like, oh no, that was, a few decades.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm just happy that it's being used. It could not be used, and that would make me sad. So these are really hot potatoes, just so you know, and I don't want to play hot potato with you, but all I'm doing is just dicing these up because these are going to be, I'm going to put them in the soup just like this, and then I'm going to puree to get that thickness. But half of these I'm going to leave out because I like chunks in my soup, if that makes sense. I don't just want a total puree. I mean, we're not making bisque, you know. Like if I was to make bisque, sure. But even with bisque, I'd leave lobster chunks in there. You know, and then somebody says, that's not bisque.
But it doesn't have to look pretty. You could just give it just a little chop.
Yeah. How many of you folks have been to my restaurant?
We have hands.
Wow. Okay. You know, when you wake up at 2 in the morning, that's the perfect time. My phone's downstairs. I won't hear it. I know you'll be thinking about me and be like, oh, she's hungry. I'll call her back at 9. Yeah. A lot of people want to come on the same day, which isn't going to work. Because for me, I buy my food daily. So I look at my reservation book and I see how many people are coming in, and I base how many items I'm going to do off the reservations. So my end game every day is to run out of food. That is my end game. If I'm not running out of food, I'm not doing my job. So, no, I need me time. My hours, Wednesday through Friday, are 10 to 2, last seating at 1, lunch only, reservation only. And then Saturday and Sunday, breakfast only, reservations required, and that's from 9 to 1, last seating at 12, breakfast.
And your space is intimate. How many people can fit in there?
27 an hour. 27 an hour. Now, let's say you wanted to come tomorrow, and I didn't have any reservations. Well, I'm closed because I'm not going to open if I don't have people signed up. Those are my favorite days because then I'm not spending money on food. I'm not spending money on labor. Even though you're mad at me because you want to eat my food, but it's not my fault. You should have called me the day before. I would have got you in. I would have opened. You are 15 minutes down that happy little road, and you get to go through my cousins, the Nisqually tribe. You can always say hi to them. I'm going to Tibbitts. And
We have another question here, Chef.
84th and Park.
All right, question here.
Just regarding reservations, what's your limit, or how less, like if you had 10, would you open for 10
I would.
people? Okay.
I would. On the weekends, you got to call 2 weeks ahead to get a 10 top. Because on the weekends, the weekends is busy, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, I'm debating if I'm going to stay open Wednesday through Friday. Because usually in the wintertime, I only go down to 3 days a week. Because I don't like to get out in the cold.
That's reason enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Like,
Potatoes are still hard, folks. So we're cutting it close.
our big potatoes are hard? Oh, boy.
But it's okay, because we're almost done. As soon as this comes to a boil, starts reducing, we're going to be good to go.
I love it.
How many of you made soup before? How fun is that? Now, you folks, we're talking like using carcasses, right? Bones, fish stock, fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. Those are always fun. How do you make your soups?
Who wants to offer up an answer to Chef?
What's your favorite? You like making potato soup? You like lentils? Nice. How often do you make soup? Once a week? What? Can you give everybody your address? Because we want to come to your house.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I do. I do. Chili's my jam during the winter, though.
All right.
I'll make chili all year at home. Yeah, but you gotta use elk and you gotta use bear. Best chili in the world.
You know, Chef, I got to say, not a lot of people have access to bear.
That's
I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Elk,
sorry.
maybe.
Yeah, if I could serve that in my restaurant, you guys would be like, oh my gosh. But those are only house visits. You know.
Fair.
Right now, I have razor clam chowder on my menu. And so razor clams are in season, it's open, and I'm happy. So if you like clam chowder, come try my razor clam chowder.
Make a reservation.
Make a reservation. And
Yeah.
I don't put potatoes in my chowder.
Interesting.
Yep. No.
I feel
No.
that's a divisive choice there, Chef.
It's a filler. Ivers, what are you eating? Potatoes.
Oh, we have a question here.
Are your recipes online?
My recipes are right here.
So we can't look to see what the ingredients are ahead of time?
You can call me.
I get it.
Yeah.
I need potatoes in my soup. I love potatoes.
You know what? When you order your chowder, I'll make sure to have you a couple potatoes out so you can just plop them in. I mean, I'm that guy. Like, Shawn, I'm coming in for your chowder. I serve it with a roasted ear of corn. So, I mean,
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
some carbs there, you know.
That's great.
But I just want flavor. And like I was saying, potatoes, that absorbs all your sodium. So you just got to keep adding more salt. And then you're like, oh, my gosh, I'm an alcoholic. I can't taste the salt anymore. I've done too much. And then you start adding sugar, and then you're like,
But
grandkids.
there's so many ways to enjoy a potato, Chef.
I know. But listen, I'm just a guy from the streets of Tacoma. You know, I'm a product of Tacoma. Like I said, I never graduated. I'm self-taught. To be here is a big honor. To have the people involved as much as they do, that's anybody's dream. Like, you know, and for me, it's not about the recognition. It's just about doing the impossible from nothing. You know, it's like living your greatest dream come true, and you're not even knowing it. You're just staying humble and just cooking. You know, like I know that there's all these chefs out here that know so much more than I do. They want to get technical with all the technical stuff. I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a guy that's going to break a recipe down and be like, hey, you're doing it wrong. You're off by an eighth of a cup of flour. Like, oh.
I think we're really fortunate in the chefs that come and take the stage here and do demonstrations in the Tacoma area are really generous and pretty non-judgy most of the time.
Yeah, we're all pretty laid back. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful food in Tacoma. Got a new one starting up. Kickstarter just starting up. It's for my friend Jacob Howell. Chef Jacob Howell is going to be opening a restaurant. But for me, everybody always asks me, where do I go to eat? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't eat anywhere that doesn't have a chef-ran kitchen. You know, because it's the chefs. I don't want to go to a place where it's a cook, you know, because a lot of people will have a bad experience because, what's that? Just like this young lady, she asked about, are your recipes online? You just go on their website and see if they have an actual chef. And then you go try those places. Because those are the places that I like to go because I know it's real food. I know that it's nothing that's going to be, you know, like going to Panera. No offense to Panera fans. It's like going to Panera and eating some frozen soup. Who wants to do that? Oh, it's the best soup in the world. Broccoli cheddar. Yeah. What's the date? February 2021? Great soup choice. No offense, Panera.
Got some feelings there. I don't think they're in the house. I think we're okay, Chef.
But you know what I mean. I mean, and I'm not knocking that. I mean, some people love that. You know, some people love Olive Garden. You know, for us local small restaurants, it's a lot harder to put our name out there than somebody that's McDonald's or, you know, something else because everybody wants convenience. Convenience is great, but so is supporting somebody that has a dream or has a vision like yourselves. You know, so for me, it's always been about supporting somebody's dream. Like Island Coffee Company, Lori right there. Tiny coffee shop out of Fox Island. Yeah, I am going to support her.
Yeah.
I love her coffee. You know, but it's that mindset. That's what makes us stronger as individuals. Not just going somewhere or joining some bandwagon. Oh, you tried Olive Garden's new endless you can eat breadsticks? No. How much MSG's in there? Oh, a lot. Okay. Anyways, not to knock any of your favorite places I just mentioned, McDonald's, Panera.
You know, as the saying goes, I'm not going to yuck your yum. Okay? Doesn't have to be mine, as long as it makes you happy. But I think there is a value in supporting local chefs.
I mean, yeah, like today I was open. I did maybe 25 people, which I'm happy with. It was busy enough because there's only 2 of us in my restaurant. Went really well. Everybody had a good time. But then you drive by McDonald's and it's like, wow. You know, and again, I'm not knocking it because that's the world we live in. It's fast-paced, go, go, go. But when it comes to food, you just want to make sure you're putting the right stuff in your body. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm sure these guys, you've been to some of my cooking events, right? And I host dinner events, and these folks come to a couple of them, you know. And I'm known as breakfast, but when I do dinners, they're there. And I'm like, what? You know, so it makes me happy, you know. So that's just diversity, and I'm grateful. Because I don't want to be known as the brunch king of the world. I like to cook, you know. Am I the best? No. I never will be. I'm me. I'm Alaskan native. I'm proud. I'm like the only Alaskan native chef in Washington. Yeah. Grateful.
How are we feeling about, how's that looking, Chef?
You know, it's looking really good. We're getting close. I'm just wondering on these baked potatoes.
We got about 15 minutes.
You know, I might have to make Chef Mike go to work here in a minute, and I don't want to. Chef Mike work?
Who?
Chef Mike.
You know, I don't know.
I don't want to pull that trigger.
I think it does. The lights turned on. I mean, worst case scenario, your baked potato is the vehicle for your soup today, right? The soup is the star. The baked potato is the bowl.
Yes.
Now, I'm coming on up to you.
I'm just curious, but you didn't put pepper in it, did you?
No.
Just salt and the thyme.
Just salt and thyme.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you actually going to taste the pepper? Do you actually, when you eat soup, now that's cracked black pepper on top. That's what you're going to taste. But when you put like pepper and stuff, unless you put a lot of pepper in there, and if it's not a pepper soup, you're not going to taste it. You know, you'll taste the thyme over that. I didn't bring pepper. I mean, I don't know. I should have brought salt and pepper. We could play the song. I think these guys know the song. Push it. Salt and pepper's here.
Turn into a dance party. That's how we're going to end today.
And if somebody wants to go, grab me a pepper. I'm sure there's somebody that has pepper around here. You know.
There might be. You could do a lap around the dome. Surely find somebody.
Some pepper.
That's true.
Yeah.
They probably have little paper packets.
Me, I am a minimalist. I am a minimalist. Like if you come to my restaurant, you order breakfast, and you want ketchup, I'm going to bring you a tomato. I'm going to bring you apple cider vinegar. I'm going to bring you sugar, so you can make your own. But if tomatoes aren't in season, you're not even getting a tomato. So you're not making that. I'll probably bring you some mayonnaise. Did you know that you can make Chick-fil-A sauce with mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, and sugar?
I feel like that's missing an ingredient.
Coleslaw dressing is Chick-fil-A sauce. Sorry, Chick-fil-A. Try it. Be like, oh my God, he's right. Oh my God, I've been eating coleslaw dressing on my fries. It's so good.
There is a Chick-fil-A, interestingly enough, sign directly above you.
I know. Just saying. Coleslaw dressing. Who would have thought? You know?
Not me.
This is the time I like to go through the kitchens of where I'm at and look in all the drawers. And I'm finding nothing. Jackie, I am going to need a...
Hold on, Chef. We have one question, and then I'll meander on up there.
What is for breakfast? What, you just show up and have breakfast and it's a surprise, or what do you serve for breakfast?
You know, I've been wanting to do that for a long time.
How do we know what you're serving for breakfast?
Best way to find me is you go to Tibbitt'sFernHillReservation.com, or if you click Google and you go to the website, you'll see my menu online. You'll see everything I'm doing. Twice a year, I do tribal storytelling dinners. I have one coming up on the 23rd with my friend, Jean Tagaban, who's Haida. It's already sold out, but you'll see everything I do on my website. So my suggestion, that's a great question. My suggestion for everybody is anywhere you eat at, don't look at the stars, don't look at the rating, look at where they're, look at their websites. You'll learn all the hours, you'll know if they're closed, this and that. me being the solo chef at my restaurant, like if I have an appointment or something happen, I will go to Yelp and Google and actually put closed on my restaurant on the pages. That way, if you go to look up my restaurant, it'll be closed and you won't find it on any search engine. But if you do find it not closed and you go there and I'm not open, then I get the bad reviews. Like, went to this place, said it was open, wasn't open. You know, no offense, but all the Karens show up, and it's
Oh
like,
boy, that's a different conversation.
oh.
Chef, what are you looking for up here? What are you poking around for? Maybe I can help you.
This young lady was asking about pepper, and I don't.
There's no pepper, if that's what you're looking for.
That's for you.
Oh.
No, it's going to be hot. It's going to be super hot. So she is a paid actress. She's been in a lot of movies. I pay her a lot of money. She's going to tell you how good this is.
You don't need pepper. I just want like a little hug. I just want a little hug of just this. You don't even have the potatoes in there. I don't need them. That's delicious.
Well, yeah, it was simple. So, folks, we are getting close. We are at 12 minutes before you have to eat. Any more questions for me? I'm a Leo. I like long walks on the beach. I have 5 cats.
We're entering in that realm of different show.
Oh, yeah, dating
Chef.
show. Yeah. My girlfriend is a therapist, and she helps people, and she helps me.
Oh.
So, yes, I have a therapist at home, which is great. Sometimes I have to give her therapy because things happen to her, too. I try, but I'm not as good as her. All right, so.
Are you going to have to plug in that immersion blender?
I am. Does the power work here today over here?
Power does not work here, but there is a plug-in right here.
Okay, 2 years ago.
Oh, gosh. Why are you bringing up old stuff, Shawn?
2 years ago, they had something happen with one of the breakers. So they moved the outlet to this over here. Problem is that I brought my KitchenAid, my blender. So I had to lift up my blender, take it all the way across stage, plug it in over here, and then I was scared I was going to blow the whole dome. So I made an announcement, about to plug it in, Tacoma Dome. Plugged it in. Everybody was safe.
It's always an adventure.
Yes.
Everyone was safe.
So
Nothing happened.
Apparently, I'm going to go over there again, which I don't mind. I've got my little cart. So, again, we're going to use towels, merge a blender. Make sure you don't use wet towels, dry towels. And I'm going to go over here and get ready.
Bates Technical College is helping here with the power access. Thank you very much.
And then let's give a hand to all the helpers that are here. You know, I mean, these guys are doing a great job.
Let's give it up.
These guys are doing a great job. I mean, I know they got more muscles than me because all I do is cook, but I am grateful. I'm going to hand you the plug. What is your name? Jake? Nice to meet you, Jake. And
Thanks, Jake.
Jake, what do you do for fun? This is fun. You go home and you dream about this. I like this guy. Do you hear that, folks? He is passionate about plugging in and moving equipment.
Yeah, he woke up this morning. He's like, you know what? I really hope one of the chefs asks me to plug something in for him. I'm here for it.
Oh, I love this place. All right, so we're going to bring our hot cream over here.
Okay.
Now, I don't know where your plugins are in your house, but just careful, okay?
You know, I really appreciate all the chefs do such an amazing job coming in. They bring all their goodies in for you guys. They're bringing, you know, ideas, thoughts, and navigating a fake kitchen.
So do you know what the main job of chefs or managers is? Does anybody know? Paperwork? Yeah, paperwork, yeah. Money? No. Organized? Definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing is troubleshooting. The biggest thing is troubleshooting, problem solving. You know, getting Jimmy to, you know, nowadays if Jimmy burns your restaurant down, you still got to buy him that Xbox.
Oh, boy.
But back in our days, it's always been about troubleshooting. So we have to learn to troubleshoot on the fly. Like if somebody burns something like that, how do you fix it?
Yeah.
ordering, somebody grabs the wrong thing. It's always chaos, always chaos. And I don't want to say that it's not, but things happen. Somebody cuts themselves, so you always want to be cognizant, respectful of everything around you, and eyes always open everywhere. You know what I mean? That way everybody's safe. But definitely troubleshooting. Like right now. It's like, yay, I don't have to go over there. All right, so we're going to turn this on. Dome's okay, right?
Dome's okay.
So I'm just going to puree these down into my soup. Can you guys see this over here?
Well, we could first. There we go. Wherever you're standing, stand there. You're doing good.
All right, perfect. I'm actually super tall. I'm not really short. I know people call me a small business owner, but right now I feel tall. I don't think I've ever done soup like this where I'm looking down into a pot.
First time for everything.
Thank you, Jackie.
And so how smooth do you want to blend this down to?
I want to thicken up the soup, so I'm going to take these potatoes pretty much down to nothing. Just want them to get in there.
If anyone has questions, don't be shy.
It's like the dentist. Can you hear that noise?
Just a little bit. Little hum.
Oh, that child heard me say dentist. I'm sorry. Yeah, folks, this handle is really super hot, but, me wearing this latex glove does absolutely nothing with this heat.
That is a active conditioning. Working in the kitchen long enough. No big deal.
All right, you going to plug me there?
Now, Chef, if you wanted to make this in advance, I know we talked about frozen soups, and that's a no-no, but let's just say you made an abundance, your friend stood you up. Could you freeze this and then warm it up later?
You could. Just depends what ingredients you have in there. Like if you already have potatoes and all that stuff in there, I wouldn't suggest freezing it. But that's just me. Just depending on what you have.
How's that potato?
Not doing it. But I want you folks to all have soup, so. Now we're going to learn how to properly microwave a potato, apparently. The joys of. I don't even have a microwave at my restaurant.
If there's foil involved, do not put that into the microwave.
Yeah. Or else you'll foil the plot.
We'll be in trouble.
These are nice forks. So the way to do potatoes in a microwave is you put holes in them. Now I feel like I'm at home. Would anybody like some top ramen, or can I make them a hot dog?
Generally speaking, I don't think anything's wrong with ramen or hot dogs, and I think you can make just about anything pretty bougie. You just got to get creative.
Yes. Troubleshooting.
There you go.
Hence Chef Tibbitts using a microwave, which I don't use microwaves, but I'm using one today because I want you to have some baked potatoes. And I know you folks don't care because you probably do the same at home anyway. Like, oh, it's not done. Put it in the microwave. Is there a baked potato button? No.
Let us know. Feels a little bit like a magic trick. You have just disappeared.
All right, we're
there
gonna
you are.
I just set it for 4 minutes. After that, we'll see what happens. But you know what? If I'm not testing out all the equipment here, why am I here? Because that's my job.
That's half the fun of it.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question here.
Are they already partly cooked?
Yeah, they've been in the oven since 3.
I see, because I only put my microwave for a potato 4.5 minutes for just one. But if you got more in there, that sounds about right.
I've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Do you think that's okay for 3 potatoes?
I guess you better find out about. You better find out in about a couple minutes.
I like
Maybe
you.
do like a halftime check-in,
I
you know?
like you. This is roasted garlic. The way you roast garlic, again, I would have did it, but I want to get the potatoes in there. I didn't want to do too many steps. So olive oil in a pan, garlic, 350 oven, tin foil, 40 minutes. Make sure you just shake it every 15 minutes. What you want is it soft. So soft, I mean you can just peel it off. And then make sure your whole house smells good. There's a tasty beverage up there. Is that yours, Jackie?
It's mine. It's just a cold brew. It's nothing fancy. So it was going to fuel my day. Ooh. That's okay.
Okay, so
Oh,
we're
we got
almost
another-
to the end here.
Another question, Chef.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you go over what all the ingredients are in there again?
I can't.
Your
You're gonna-
simple
Yep.
soup.
Leeks, 1 leek. Remember, you're going to cut it off. You're going to cut all the green stuff down to the light green to the lighter green. Chop that up, rinse that, wash that. 1 pound of butter. That was a half pound of butter. Cook until almost brown butter. You know what brown butter is. Really nutty flavor, but you don't want that much. And the other pot over here, I just did potatoes, boiled them up. I did these cute little Yukon Gold potatoes. So, but you want them pretty much, you don't want to make mash. You want them somewhat crisp because I don't like mashed food. The reason I kept those separated because I don't want to make mashed potatoes in a pan or potato puree. And then I added chicken stock right here. 1.5 of these, which is 32 ounces. And then 1 quart of heavy cream. And then I added my thyme, which that's probably 2 ounces of, not even 2 ounces, 1 ounce of fresh thyme leaves. And I made almost like a satchel where I just let that soak and come to a boil. It just cooked down, cooked down, cooked down. And then I added half of my potatoes because I want these other potatoes to go on in my soup. And then I pureed that. And I didn't add any pepper, just salt. So, and salt, probably 1 tablespoon. But I used salted butter and I used salted broth. So, but that flavor, Jackie, that flavor. Pepper here wanted pepper, but I'm like,
I mean, and you know, sometimes you like what you like, but I don't think anyone's going to be disappointed today. And Chef, we're going to do a time check. It is 4:00.
I know. You know, the good news is that these folks are here for the duration because I've already tortured them enough by, waiting for soup.
Like,
and
we're in it for the soup
we're
now.
in it for the soup in it. Here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to ask my best friend who's in the stage, Lori, if you get me a fresh cup of coffee. And by the time Lori gets back with that fresh cup of coffee, I'm sure, thank you, I'm sure.
We're going to have a baked potato loaded with garlic, leek, potato soup.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
And then you guys are going to need a nap before dinner because you've had a nice little cup of cozy.
Yes. You can unplug that. Thank you. I don't want the Tacoma Dome's power bill to go up because of my immersion blender.
Well, let's not do that. Oh?
Do you make like those cup of soups for the local restaurant in your area?
No, but the best soup place in Tacoma is going to be...
There's only one right answer.
say it, because I can't even think of it right now.
Infinite Soups.
Infinite Soups, yeah. Best soups in Tacoma right now is Infinite
I
Soups.
like Shawn if you give me the wrong answer.
Wendy's my person, but those are the best soups you're going to get in Tacoma is right there. Wendy does an amazing job. You know.
I'm in Shoreline.
Shoreline, Mickey Hogan, Gig Harbor. I worked there. Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know who has the best soup out there.
I've been there once. How is Shoreline? I just
is
drove through. I
Shoreline?
waved. People waved back. And that was our relationship with Shoreline.
But you
I've been to Olympia. I lived next to Evergreen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Olympia. I know.
I love it.
Folks, we are super close. I'm just, like I said, just waiting on these potatoes. Appreciate your patience.
Any more questions for Chef?
We're getting soft. We're almost there.
Now, you've given us a coffee recommendation and now a soup recommendation. Let's talk about really like just your go-to local restaurant that you love hitting up.
There's so many.
There are.
Like I said, I only go to places where chefs work, so for me, I do. I try to stay out of the public eye a lot, just because I'm busy at my restaurant. I want to remain humble, and I recently quit drinking. It's been 3 years. I've been 3 years sober now, so I don't have much of an outside life, where before I was always at drinking. So I'm grateful I was able to quit after 35 years of being an alcoholic. Pretty proud.
Good for you, Chef.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a tough journey beating alcohol, but I did it. Now I drink lots of coffee. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you.
A lot of good places. You got Bar Bistro. You got Church Cantina. Excuse me. Marzano's really good.
Marzano's is good for people who are like, gosh, where do you get good Italian food?
Yeah, barbecue, My Four Sons. Warnessa at Lizzie Lou's too. I love her. One of my best chefs is about to open a restaurant called Reina. That's coming up next year. She just got everything awarded to her, so I'm very proud of Chef Jan Parker.
Very exciting news.
My other friend Jacob Howell, Chef Jacob Howell, who used to be the chef at Enrama, he's going to be opening a restaurant here, hopefully by January, where the old table used to be, where Derek Bray was. So we're going to be doing a Kickstarter next month. I'm going to try to help him. And then you got Burger Soul, if you like burgers. They just reopened up, my buddy Young. So
their first real brick and mortar, right out of from a food truck to a real building.
Yep.
Okay, we're checking on that baked potato.
We're there.
We're so close. We're
there?
there?
Yeah. All right. All right, let's give a round of applause to Chef Mike for participating today and
good job,
showing us
guy.
that he can feed you as well as I can.
So what's your recommendation for making your potato, your bowl?
Well, I like them a little crisper, but all I'm going to do is just wedge the outside of it. And I'm going to open it up a little bit just like that. And then I'm going to get me a nice little spoon. I'm going to course them out. And thank you, folks, for staying a little bit later. I really appreciate all of you.
Let's give it up for Bates, guys.
Yes, thank you, Bates.
Yep, doing great.
Don't think I don't appreciate you, but thank you. I didn't want to go this long, but
all right.
That oven, man. So what I'll do now is I'll just scoop it out, and I'll add it to my soup.
Easy.
And I like to stack things high because I'm weird. But I like height on my food. If you don't know, I'm a zero waste restaurant, so I like to utilize all the ingredients I have into other stuff. That's why my menu is so small. But like I said, if I'm not running out of food, I'm not doing my job. And then one of the questions I get asked a lot from a lot of folks is, don't you want a real kitchen? Don't you want all this stuff? And me, being honest, I tell them, I'm like, I have enough. I have 2 campfire burners. My culture, our people, we cooked on open flames for thousands of years outside. We were nomads. We were pioneers. I like the spiritualness of nothing that is Americanized. You know, what I've done from nothing is the incredible story, because anybody can cook. You know, you give them an oven, a broiler, all that. Yeah, you can cook whatever you want. Deep fryer. What I've done is with nothing, and that's the magic of my place. So just being grateful is enough for what you have. Where a lot of people want more. Nope.
right, we got the taters. They're looking ready. What are you looking for, Chef?
Oh, my friend the whisk.
Got it.
I found him. He likes to hide. Do you have serving stuff for these folks? Like,
We do. We have some bowls and spoons. Are we ready to spoon it up?
yep, let's do it.
Are we going to have a money shot of the taters with the soup in it?
Oh, yeah, let's do that first.
Let's do that. And then, everyone's been waiting so patiently. Thank you. Then we can sample things up and send you off for your little afternoon nap.
Oh, no nap. I stopped eating sugar, so now I'm not tired anymore.
You know, you were a little disappointed to see that cake from Marianne at Celebrity Cake
Stop,
Studio.
stop. It's still in the fridge, right?
There's one little guy in the fridge. That one's mine. I'll wrestle anyone for
What's
it.
the shelf life on that cake?
You know, that's a good question. Nobody asked, but there is coming together. I like we're plate garnishing with the potatoes.
Oh, yeah, everything's potato.
We have a question.
I'm ready for your question.
Where's the Hemplers?
What?
Where's the bacon?
Where's the bacon? Hempler's bacon. It's like they know you.
Do you know when you go to places, just try to be that person that's not so needy? No. This is just little thyme leaves. Since we already had time, I'll just sprinkle a little on top. And folks, welcome.
Is that it?
That's
Let's
it.
get a little shot of that dish and give it up for Chef Shawn Tibbitts.
Put my coffee next to it.
You know, let's give it up for Chef, guys. Thank you so much. That concludes day one of Cooking for the Holidays. We hope that you come back tomorrow for more. Doing a little quality control. I always say bring it up to a nice little line. Let's give it for Bates Technical College. That's a great shot there. Have a great afternoon, guys. Thank you.